Hey there, friends. I'm going to talk about AI a little bit. We'll call this a spooky ball episode because electricity very much involved. When people discovered electricity and then talked about animal magnetism, I mean, there was a real sense of revelation when people found electricity where first? In frog legs, right? It's like Galvani and stuff. And then the idea that the body itself is run on electricity. This pushed the human closer to the machine in people's minds a lot. But it also had the opposite effect in the sense that people like Edison wondered if our spirit or soul or something like an intelligence inside of us was electromagnetic, right? And so you wondered about creating electromagnetic devices to speak with the dead and so forth. So it has a different impact on people when they make these discoveries. So I've been watching some of this neuroscience. People worried about artificial intelligence and general AGI and stuff. For the rest of my talk, I think I'll just get this background running. Okay, so what I'm thinking is, first of all, the human silicons, the cell silicon synergy that we have going now with the internet, all of us watching each other on YouTubes and Facebooks and all these kind of social media. This is the new computer. It's always been it's biomechanical. It's always been cell silicon. It's not like there's computers over there and humans over here. They totally have already completely, I mean, you could say that only humans have changed because we've adapted, we've evolved. Humanity looks different now because we've swallowed this computer. And we have new levels, new fantasies, new myths, new everything thanks to this computer. And, Bucky Fuller, who I talk about all the time on this channel, he had a picture of where the computer was going to. And I've argued in previous videos that you have to look at it somewhat metaphorically, as I'm doing here when I talk about the whole biosphere as a computer. And we're thinking it through about AI. We're trying to come to grips with, what is intelligence? It's kind of a way of doing philosophy. It sounds more empirical when you do it as an investigation into whether artificial intelligence might take over and see humans as dispensable. But we already see ourselves that way. I mean, it's we who see ourselves without any AGI in the picture. We're already paying a lot of people to make it be their job to get rid of other people. I mean, that's just a fact of life. One way to make money in this world is to just get rid of people, right? So it's not like we need AI to sort of find us. Like we already do that work on ourselves. Like we worry the Terminator will show up and tell us to all kill ourselves or kill us for us because it's so super intelligent it realizes it doesn't need us. But we already have this problem that we can't really figure out how to stop being so, like, we're not finished with the humans yet. That's probably why creating this AGI might have to wait a while because we don't really have a mature human intelligence. We're working on it. It's a big uphill battle, and we're still in the middle of that battle. So we think maybe we're on the brink of doing something in silicon only that won't affect the whole computer. But what I'm saying is the whole sort of Silicon Valley religion slash ethos slash science fiction is already part of the computations. People are trying to figure it out. Like, where do we want to go with this computer stuff? And what does computer mean? And what does coding mean? All this kind of questions. So that's a computation. We think about it. And now we have the internet. We can read each other's stuff really quickly. Mathematicians, it used to take hundreds of years to get their ideas sort of converged because they were just in different parts of the world, and how are they ever going to find each other? Those kind of problems are so much more quickly resolved today. So we should think that we are kind of a new kind of computer already, like we have hit a singularity of a kind. If you look back in history and you see how slow things were going in terms of people communicating and generations going by and so on, we're living many, many lifetimes now just through films. I know it's vicarious. It's not the same as actually living other lifetimes, and a lot of it's fictional material. But what our nervous system is put through, right? There's some part of the brain, as they say, whether it's true or not, it's useful, that doesn't, it believes everything. It's totally, there's no such thing as incredulity in this part of the brain. So you go to the movies and put yourself through, it's just other cultures didn't have movies. Now they had psychedelics, we could say, they had storytellers, they had vivid imaginations. So you could say they didn't need movies. Nevertheless, I would say TV, movies, and all this, and telephone, of course, has totally transformed how humans compute as a collective. And I would say that, the species is a computation, an adaptive computation. This idea that the AGI people have, that, oh, you just put a computer in a room that knows how to learn, and it will just take off just because it has the internet. Somehow this body intelligence of needing to move and stuff is suddenly not a problem, whereas other places work really hard on the movement aspect and just getting out of the room and walking around, like Boston Dynamic kind of stuff, right? That kind of stuff. That's not a big problem for these other AGIs. They just sit there, apparently, like Watson, and don't need to move at all, and their intelligence will just happen to them anyway. So movement is not an input, they're saying. But is it? Is that right? I mean, see, can you get everything from books? I feel like there's what's reflected large in this whole debate is, what do we think intelligence is and how do we come by it? And is it just a process? Like, if you're a Wittgenstein guy like me, you don't even think there is a process that we're even talking about. The word intelligence doesn't work that way. So anyway, I digress, or this is what I wanted to talk about. Just more late night thoughts on the whole AI conundrum, and we'll talk to you again soon.